But best practice, if we're doing that, is we have the default rate and the cost. And why we're doing that is to the question we had here on the Facebook group for Marcy, is we really want to be able to see, are we hitting our revenue goals? And then we've already built in our product with product markup cost. So that's the main number. If I'm looking at it, I'd want to look at. So yes, Marcy, that is one way of doing it, is going into your scheduling dispatch jobs. Now, the other thing that I'd highly recommend is, you remember when we toggled over here and did the predefined date range here in this test account, is went into columns and we set up a couple of these guys here with these exact areas here, and we clicked out, it saved this. What I would probably do is go in and create a view and put it in last week's revenue report or whatever it is. Now, conversely, the other way of tackling this here, and there's a couple of ways to skin this cat, is going into the report center and pulling up a pre-canned essay report. They're really, really good. And if you're looking at, like in our coaching division, when our coaches work with SA users and different clients, we'll have them as one of their scorecards on a weekly basis pull up the financial profit and loss accrual. You might say, hey, Mike, Dylan, Keanu, I don't use SA for all my expenses. That's totally fine. But what you're going to be able to do is, as an accrual basis, this is probably where I would also look if you were going to run that report without having to actually physically make it. But if you went in, you could literally go in and run the date range here. Once you have it, hit refresh, and that is going to pull up in this test account the revenue of $281,000 here. So you'll have contracts, and below that, you'll have your services. So that's another great way of pulling a pre-canned report out of SA. Now, you may take a look at that and say, well, Mike, what's the difference between accrual and cash basis?